Hello and welcome to episode 266 of the Epic Film Challenge 2,001 Movies You Must See Before You Die from 2010. In fact, I believe we watched this film on the exact 10-year anniversary, Inception. Wow! It's funny how...
Inception cats, you should throw that video in.
It's funny how the main kind of signature thing of Inception, at least in bite-sized form, is the dong, which wasn't a part of the film at all, wasn't composed by Hans Zimmer, it was just that trailer. But that's neither here nor there, that's the trailer, but it's undeniable that whenever I think of Inception, I think of dong, and it's usually the Inception cat that also pops into mind. So, where do we begin with a film like Inception, Connie?
When I start, it's weird. Well, where do you? It's one of those. It's really original. There's still nothing like it, really. There are things that can look like it, like the scenes in Doctor Strange with the buildings and stuff like that, but in a completely different world anyway. But it's still, I feel like it's taken from it. But it's just when it came out, it was talked about a lot, and for good reason. It's so well executed. The actors, they just keep on coming. Great actor, great actor, great actor, great actor. Another great actor that's not in it a lot, but you still appreciate him being in it. What's his name? Welsh guy. Alfred.
He's not Welsh.
Oh.
Michael Caine.
Oh, he's not Welsh, is he? Caine.
No. My name is Michael Caine.
Right. I mean, you got... It's such a great group of people. I feel like I love all of them. Leonardo DiCaprio is great. Tom Hardy is great. Ellen Page is great. Caine is great. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, love him as well. And then we got that French actress as well. I can never remember her name, but I think she does great in this movie. She plays in Batman as well, doesn't she? And it's not even comparable.
She tries to play in Batman. Okay, right. I will say she's really good in Batman, but her death scene is one of the worst pieces of acting I've seen in a big mainstream movie ever. I can't believe someone okayed that and went, yep, that's a good death scene, but it is what it is. And
cut.
It shows you even the best of actors, because she is a terrific actress. And even an Oscar-winning actress or actor can still pull in a piece of shite performance like her death scene in The Dark Knight Rises, which incidentally is a film I love anyway.
But yeah, from beginning to end, it just jumps straight in. You're in a dream. That's what the whole thing is about. They have these machines that let you go into a dream state, and you can enter someone else's dream, or you can have them enter yours. Or not your dream, but your unconsciousness.
Subconscious? Subconscious.
Yes, that. And so you're jumping straight into a dream, and then you realize, oh, okay, this is weird, and the way they get out of the dream and how they're timing it with that very famous song. Edith Piaf, I think it is.
I don't know what it's called. It's
No, the singer.
Oh, right, okay.
Famous French.
Yeah.
And then you get into it more and you realize that the guys... Oh, and I can't remember that guy's name either. Is he Japanese or is he... He looks Japanese.
Yeah. Ken Watanabe. He plays... I forget the character's name. I watched it a few days ago. What's his name? He's this businessman who has a very specific plan in mind, and it's going to be scuppered when this other businessman is about to die, basically. And it's just like a global takeover. The specifics aren't too important, but this Japanese guy really wants that business to dissolve. And the only way that can happen is if the son of that businessman, who's played by Cillian Murphy, dissolves the family business, which isn't going to happen. So he's employed and gained the assistance of Leonardo DiCaprio's group of, what would you call them? Dream... I don't know.
Dream assassins.
Dream
spies.
You can call it a dream heist, but then what would you call them? I don't know. But they're
dream agents.
Dream agents, yeah. We'll call it that. So he's grabbed him and kind of said that I can, because Leonardo DiCaprio's character Cobb.
Yeah.
his name's also Dom, I think, but Cobb is like the main name he goes by. So Cobb is estranged from his family, his 2 children. He can't go back to see them because he did something really bad, or he might have done something really bad, and so the authorities just won't let him back into the country where his kids are. So this Japanese businessman's like, I can wipe all of that clean for you if you do this job, which is a very dangerous job, and also a job that they've never been able to pull off before, which is Inception, to incept an idea into someone's mind without them realizing that it's been given to them. So to do this,
the seed has to be so small they didn't realize that.
And it has to be multi-layered, so they have to go a dream within a dream. And
within the dream.
Yes. So and each level gets progressively more dangerous as far as what happens to the people who are in the dream, and if they die in the dream, will they wake up, and so on and so forth.
Because they go into limbo. And the further in the dream states you are, the longer you're in it. 5 minutes in real life would be an hour in the first stage of the dream, and it would be 10 hours in the next one, or it would be, I can't remember the next one after that, 50 hours or something, 40 hours or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just gets longer and longer, and if you go into limbo, it would be decades, even though it's just like so many hours in the real world.
Yeah, I think it's
so
something...
you'd be screwed because you age and then you forget, and you forget what's real and not real, which is the reason why Cobb is also in the state that he is. And we're allowed to say about his wife, aren't we? If you haven't seen Inception,
let's just. Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people have. I don't know. It's tricky because how many people really watch these videos, and
how are we going to do a review? Do you want to split it and have a spoiler section at the end then?
We tend to do that, so fine. I mean, we could possibly do that, but I'm just going to.
Should, because I have a theory.
You have a theory, interesting. Yeah. So one of the kind of key parts of the film is that Cobb has his spinning top, which he spins on a table or wherever he has it, just to confirm to himself that he is awake and not still dreaming.
It says Inception underneath. I can't see that.
If I held it closer. Not that it really matters. Yeah, there's a cool little box set that has the a spinning top, at least. Not the spinning top, but... Because I'm sure the one in the movie doesn't have fucking Inception inscribed on the bottom of it. But yeah, so that's kind of... And so his crew have totems, which are these little items that they only know the exact weight of, so they can confirm to themselves that they're not dreaming or not. There's loads of things in the film. There's a thing about his wedding ring that he's only wearing in certain parts where he's dreaming, and he doesn't have it when he's awake. There's lots of little details like that throughout the film.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the majority, not the majority of the film, I'd say maybe like 50%, 60% of the film maybe is this dream heist. It really goes on. I mean, there's so many layers to it, obviously, as they keep going deeper and deeper, and then it just... I don't know. You forget how long the main section of that part of the film is, but it really is a lengthy, and it doesn't feel like a 2.5 hour long film to me, because the pacing is so. It's just next thing, next thing, next thing. Each scene is presenting a new piece of the mythology of this world and the way that the world works, the rules and everything, or setting up a new member of the team. Ellen Page's character is a new architect. She will create the architecture of the dreams and stuff. I'm not quite sure how that really physically works, but a lot of that logic you need to kind of throw to the side and just enjoy it for what it is, I think, because obviously it doesn't hold up under any kind of logic. But you can, I don't know, the way it's laid out, you can almost buy into it, which is what you want from a film like this, is it not be complete, ludicrous fantasy, but you could almost see it, being kind of a thing, because dreams are very strange and they are very unexplained in a lot of cases, and people study it, and it is this weird thing. And I love dreams, and I can remember dreams I had like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and I'll have a dream and I'll think, oh, it's that thing that I had years ago, and you'll just remember this thing, and it's like a part of your life, but it isn't, and it's like a weird part of the memory and the brain, and
especially if you dream it more than once.
And so this is just taking the world of dreams and just making it an incredibly exciting film out of it. When I first watched it, I thought it was great, but there was something about it that wasn't quite... It didn't have the full... it wasn't like a full masterpiece. It was just... Yeah, it was really great, but not... There wasn't like the full... I don't know. You have an expectation when it comes to Christopher Nolan's films, I think. I don't know why I didn't see this...
I feel like it holds up plenty. The more times I watch Inception, the more I like it.
Well, yeah,
because I pick up on little things. And that's the thing with this movie. If you just watch it once, that's not enough. It's a movie you got to watch at least twice to keep up with everything. It's a fast-paced movie. It's not a movie you just watch one night for the first time while you're just relaxing or drinking beer. You want to be completely sober and pay attention to the movie. You don't go on Facebook during it. You watch it. It's a movie you should watch in the cinema the first time to realize how great it is.
Right, well, number one, I didn't say it didn't hold up. I'm saying the first time I watched it, it didn't quite meet what I thought it was going to be as far. I don't know.
That's a different way of saying holding up.
I suppose, but I was going to go on to say that every time I see it after that, it gets better for me. So it is a film that for me has improved. I haven't overwatched it, which is good, because then, I don't remember every single part of it, and like, oh yeah, I forgot about that part, and so it was like almost a little bit exciting again to watch this film again and see it all unfold. I remembered obviously the big things that happened, but there were certain parts that I didn't.
And noticing little things that might actually change the whole movie for you as well.
Right. Now, I don't know, you say it should be seen in the cinema. I have no idea why we didn't see this in the cinema, because we didn't.
Where did we live? We live in Norway.
We lived apart. It was 2010, so we were still long distance at that point. But, The Dark Knight came out in 2008. It was great. Loved it. Went to see it multiple times in the cinema. So I don't know why I didn't feel like I had to see his next film. I just didn't. And we didn't. So I think we watched it, I don't know when we watched it even. It was maybe a year after it came out or something. So
I have no memory of that.
Yeah. No,
I thought that we watched it in the cinema.
No, the first time I watched it was before I went to work one day. And I always hated getting up before work because I would do late shifts. Still do late shifts now. It's all coming back around again. It's like Inception. And you wanted to watch it, and I didn't know, because I just didn't like watching a full film before work. But I remember being in work all night, just having that music in my head and the emotions of it really sticking with me. But again, it wasn't quite, I don't know, there's something about it wasn't quite the full package. I don't know, something.
It was probably your emotional state before you watched it as
Yeah,
well.
maybe. If
you'd been excited about watching it and you weren't distracted by the fact that you had to go and do work afterwards, you probably would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Possibly so, yes. Anyway, so revisiting it this time, it's crazy to think it was 10 years ago. Still holds up as like visually. There's a few moments of the visual effects, especially now we have like a 65-inch TV, where I could see it wasn't quite as crisp. Just, and it is what it is. 10-year-old visual effects are not going to look as good as visual effects from now. But it wasn't to say they look bad in any way, shape, or form. I just maybe saw, the texturing is a little bit, not as
I don't think
rich.
I was wearing my glasses, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Because it was Blu-ray, so I didn't really, which is funny.
Yes, we watched it in paltry 1080p for this. But it looked great, and
oh, the times have changed.
the only thing the main thing I want to talk about, you were saying that the woman who plays Mal is great, Marion Cotillard, and she is one of the best parts of the film. But what struck me the most about watching it this time was Cillian Murphy. Actually, I thought his performance was great. He's the son, the guy that they have to, he's the target, and he has to play many different states throughout the film. Where I don't know, there's just a lot of layers to that, literally. And then his final scene with his father, I thought was brilliant. He's just a really good actor, and I think that he really holds the film together because he's like the central target, and you just see his character change throughout as he gets approached, and then they decide to reveal to him that he is actually in fact in a dream, in the second layer of the dream, and so it's like it's all getting complicated, and he has to act all these different like layers of perception of what he is believing is happening around him, and so I think it's quite a difficult role, and he did a great job with it. So we'll leave it there. I think you both know what our answer is going to be on this. Is it a film you should see before you die? Yeah, it is for sure. As far as like these big kind of blockbusters go, it's incredible.
So maybe you should watch twice before you die.
There isn't really a weakness, I don't think. It's just a great film. Great story, great execution, brilliant. Definitely film
original.
Original, yeah. I mean, there's certain things, like I almost think of the film we watched, that short film, The Pier, which was the still photographs movie with the guy who had to go back in time. He had to go back in time, and it was almost like a dream. There are certain things, but I mean,
that was time travel. This isn't.
That is true. That was time travel, but it reminded me of that a little bit, or at least I thought of that when thinking of other films that might be similar. But it really is, for its time, quite an original film, which is really rare, I think.
It still is.
And still is, yeah.
No one else has made something like it, and they shouldn't. It should just be Inception. Even though I want to see more of people going into dreams.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to have one of those devices and just control my dreams as well. It would be great.
Yeah,
I'll get a lot of stuff done.
and design
you can learn
them.
a language that way.
Yeah. Well, that's
5 minutes, an hour,
That's kind of part of where the movie goes. So we'll leave it there, and then talk some spoilers for anyone who is probably watching this and has seen the film, which is probably everyone. Okay. So, what spoilers do you want to talk about?
So
You had a theory.
there's the whole thing ends with him spinning the thing, and you never see it drop, because if it's in a dream, what is it called?
Spinning top.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You thought it'd be cooler than that.
In Norwegian we call it snudebas.
Okay, no, it's just a
which
spinning
can also
top.
mean something else, but I won't say what that is.
Oh, okay.
So the spinning top never falls when it's in a dream, but it will, of course, in real life fall because gravity and speed decreases. And he shows how that works in the movie. And then he goes into this place where they show the really heavy sedation stuff, just so that he can try it out before they go and do the Inception part. And then he comes out of it. He goes to the bathroom. He washes his face and trying to get Mal out of his head. And he goes to spin it, but it falls to the ground before he even starts to spin it because Watanabe is in the room, and he never spins it again until the end when he sees his kids again, because he's supposedly come back to the States and we don't see it drop.
Yeah.
So the theory then is, just like a lot of movies, like, oh, it was all in his head, is that he never actually woke up. He just went right back to limbo or something with Mal when he tried the sedation thing. He just went to limbo. It doesn't matter how long he was in there. They probably gave him 5 minutes and that would be enough, wouldn't it? For a lot. So that's just like an interesting theory, because a lot of people are thinking he's dreaming. The kids haven't aged. He's seeing them exactly the same way he's been seeing them in his head, from the back, with the same clothes and the way they turn around as well, in the same spots. Why would they be exactly the same age, same length of hair, same clothes as in the beginning when he has visions of them, or the memory from when he left? And he's been gone for more than just a couple of months. Surely he's been gone for years. Or at least a year.
I would say about a year is probably a good bet.
Kids grow fast.
Well, if you notice, when he goes into his dream and Ellen Page's character follows him in, because and I like how she's like so intrigued by his backstory with his wife, and she's almost too curious, and she's very much like the audience for the whole film, really, because she's the one who gets taught all of these things, and then we get taught all of those things. It's a very neat device to set up all that exposition, and then she wants to know more about his backstory as we want to know more. And so she kind of sneakily slips into his dream, and there's like an elevator that takes him through all of these memories that he goes back to. And at the very bottom is a memory of his wife on the beach with the kids, and they're a lot younger. So there are different ages of the kids in the film.
Are they?
Yeah, but the shot
you still see them from the back.
Yeah, the shot of the kids from the back is the same throughout the film, I think, including when he gets to them at the end. But I think that the key to that is really that you never see their faces. And obviously he talks about how he wanted to see their faces one more time. You don't see their faces in the whole movie except for the very end when they turn around and then you see their faces.
Yeah, but it's just that it's exactly the same shot.
Yeah.
If they had been somewhere else, that would have been fine. But they're playing with their backs to him in exactly the same way in every shot you see them, even if they're in the hotel room or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't matter where. The boy will be on the right, the girl will be on the left.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Do you want to know like undeniable proof of what the ending really means, or do you just want to prefer the ambiguity?
Did Nolan spoil it?
There is something out there that I can tell you if you want to know.
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay. And it's
not a spoiler, is it? It's just what I want to know.
But I like the ambiguity of it. Obviously, he tries his spinning top, and then he turns, and he sees his kids.
You see it wobble.
Yes, but because that's the final shot of the film. But I think first Nolan said that the whole reason of that ending was to show that he was testing his spinning top to see, is this real? Am I dreaming? And then he sees the faces of his kids, and then he realizes he doesn't care anymore. And so he leaves that whole thing behind. Now, the actual concrete thing that you can take away from it, if you look into some interviews, is that Michael Caine read the script and said he didn't understand exactly, what's going on here. And he spoke to Nolan about it, and Nolan said, well, every scene that you're in is real. And he's in the ending scene.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. So you seem disappointed now. You seem disappointed. I was wondering whether or not you would.
Yeah, because, well, no, I do appreciate it. It's just, then it's annoying that the kids look exactly the same.
I don't know. I think it's more of a... I think that's intentional. I think it's there to have the ambiguity, because then you can kind of...
they should have changed a little bit,
Maybe, I suppose.
Maybe they have. Maybe there's an inch longer hair. I don't know, on the girl. Maybe they are wearing different clothes, but it's just the sun, the way it hits.
I think it is very, very similar. Yeah, it's like this...
I think it's the exact same scene. You're just waiting for them to turn instead of running away.
Yeah. But, it is what it is.
So every scene he's in is real. And you definitely see him hug... Yeah, no, it's not hugging. He just takes his bag or something.
So I think that it's a film that has that kind of very famous ambiguous ending and the last shot of the spinning top. But it is kind of straightforward, really. I loved the whole... I'd forgotten exactly the backstory with his wife, and exactly that they were down there for 50 years together. And
they did grow old together.
Yeah, and I'd forgotten that they did that, where they showed them old, kind of, from the back.
I remember that.
I didn't remember that, so that was
I was waiting for it, and then he said it in the end, and I was just like, all right.
The score can't go without mention, Hans Zimmer. And another thing, actually, the main theme, the time theme, is just an incredibly powerful piece of music. But I don't realize until I watch it, like, oh, it isn't really used that much. It's only really used, not even in full form, at the end of the film. I feel like it's become such an iconic piece of music that it's like they use it in the Chaplin speech in The Great Dictator. It's been used in all these different other things. Hans Zimmer performs it live, and so it becomes bigger than the movie itself. But it's used so perfectly in the film because it isn't overused, I think. I was almost expecting it to be like throughout the whole film, like bits and pieces. But maybe there's a few bits of it, but it's mainly at the end. And so it's used at the right powerful moment at the end. But yeah, like you said, great cast, great story. There's really nothing to complain about. It's a film you should see before you die, and
no doubt
everything else in between.
It's a movie you can watch again and again, but definitely recommend having a few years in between so you don't get sick of it. Because it's one of those movies you don't wanna get sick of it.
Yeah. And a lot of
we can't not mention the famous hallway scene
with
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I was just about to say that as impressive as the visual effects are,
practical effects.
There's some really good practical stuff. And I read that Joseph Gordon-Levitt did all of his stunts for that hallway scene except for one shot.
He didn't do the room. He did the hallway scene, and they practiced it again and again. And then when they go into the room, they had to use a stunt double because the fall is too high in case something went wrong. But everything in the hallway apparently was him. And that was interesting.
I mean, it goes back to the early days of film where they would do that gag where it's like the rotating room, and then they'd keep... Oh, they don't do it in Inception, but one of the old... I think it's what's his name? Fred Astaire, maybe? I don't know. There's this old musical film where he's walking up the walls of the room, and they just have the camera on a rotating set, so the camera doesn't move, but it looks like they're walking up the ceiling, and they've replicated that gag in music videos and stuff, and so it felt a little bit like that old-timey Hollywood, but in like a big, kind of an evolution of old, classic practical effects, special effects.
And that's what works the best, because you sat there, you're thinking, how did they do this?
Yeah, and Nolan is, I mean, he's notorious for wanting to do things as much as he can in camera. There's a random shot at the beginning of the film when they're first trying... Saito, is it Saito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Saito.
When they're first trying to convince Saito that, I'm not even sure if they know they're trying to convince him, but they're inside his dream, and then they come out of it, but they're also inside another dream. So in the very beginning, you're introduced to the idea of a dream within a dream. And there's a character in a building, and then outside, the camera pans in, there's an explosion across the street, and you can tell that's a real explosion. And I just remember thinking the timing on that, because you got the camera away from the window, has to come pan in, see the character, and then just the timing of it must have been, you'd be praying that shot goes right, basically. And if it's visual effects, then it's incredible, but it looked completely real to me. I think I can tell when it comes to explosions.
Soon you won't.
Oh, well, yeah, perhaps, but yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot we just go on forever about it. It's great.
Yeah.
There's loads of great moments, and I just love the and I've read people online say that it goes on a bit too long, but I love how towards the end you're like in a dream within a dream within a dream, and then you're going back to the previous levels to see like how the other people who've been left behind are trying to sort everything out, and then finally it's just a truck falling off a bridge in super slow motion, and it falls off that bridge for like 30-40 minutes in like the movie time. And I just love the the kind of tension and build up of that, and it is incredibly drawn out, but I love how it does that, and it plays with time, and it'll be intriguing to see this year what Nolan does with time, because his next film is about time, or not even time travel, but time reversal, and so it'll be intriguing to see that film, which has just been announced as being taken off the release calendar indefinitely. So obviously this is the year of the COVID-19.
There's going to be so many movies next year.
I mean, Nolan was so firm that his film would not be pushed back, and so it was the last big film to go, basically. There's no
point with everything closed.
There isn't.
There
just
point.
isn't. So yeah. Anyway,
Netflix is making loads though. Netflix and Amazon get all of the movie fame.
So Inception, great.
10 out of 10.
I didn't give it that. I still can't give it that for some reason. I don't know what it is. It is great though, and I love it. I don't know. There's something. I'm not sure. I can't even put my finger. There's nothing wrong with it either. And even talking about it, I feel like
it might be too long for you.
No, it's not though, because the pacing is really good. So I don't know.
If you don't know what it is, then it doesn't deserve any less than a 10, Luke.
Maybe, yeah.
You can't say to someone, "I'm not going to give you an A. I'm going to give you a B." Why? Can't put my finger on it.
I don't know.
Fuck you.
I don't know. It's a weird one. And one last thing, I loved her, Marion Cotillard. I loved her performance when, she went, through most of the film, but particularly in the scene when her and Cobb wake up after they've been in limbo for 50 years, and she's just not the same anymore. And I know there's a detachment from her, and she's just a great actress. You know? And she did such a good job selling that entire relationship from the many different perspectives of her character, which is mainly inside his head to begin with anyway. And that I forgot that twist as well, that he was the one who would put the idea in her head.
Yeah, but she's still the one who killed herself anyway.
Yeah, but it was kind of... I
wouldn't feel too bad.
No, it's kind of his fault.
He wanted to save them.
I guess, yeah.
It wasn't that dramatic. It could have been worse. You could have put a worse idea in there. Yeah, so it was a seedling, but if he had known what it would lead to...
Well, that's true. Wait, that's what makes it more complicated, obviously.
Exactly.
It wasn't
it's her, isn't it?
I guess. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I think The Dark Knight is in the book, so we'll have another Nolan film to talk about at some point, but until then, thank you for watching.
That's what we will watch tonight.
We don't have time for that, I don't think. Dark Knight's very long. Nolan's films are always very long. We've been dying to watch Interstellar soon, and it's too long. It's just too darn long. It's not, but when you have a certain amount of hours to watch a film.
Still one Nolan film I haven't seen. Oh, it's probably more, but one new one that I haven't seen.
Dunkirk. Yeah. You haven't seen his first film, Following, which is really good, but not great. So you're not missing out too much.
No, but I'm missing out on Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, yeah. You've seen Memento, you've seen Insomnia, and all the other big ones. Yeah, okay. All right, so there we go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ta-ta.
And farewell.
Ta-ta and farewell.